the name Michael Jordan would remain in the basketball world for a very long time. This would remain so because this person's activities and actions are something that the world is yet to recover from. He was a pro, a legend that knew his turf and was not silent about showing the world just how good he was at it. Who is Michael Jordan? When the name Michael Jordan comes up, the reference most times is to Michael Jordan. And this is because there hasn't been anyone to fit into the role and shoes he left in the basketball world. These days, hardly any basketball star, player, or fan does not have a soft spot for Michael Jordan. Who is he? Michael Jordan is known by most of his fans as MJ, but his birth-given name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan Oly. He was born on February 17 in the year 1963. Per his official profile, Michael Jordan is an American businessman and a former professional basketball player. Being of the greatest of his time and of all time, Michael Jordan is said to have played 15 seasons in the National Basketball Association, NBA, which enabled him to win 6 NBA championships while playing alongside his team, the Chicago Bulls. Far from his titles and the awards and games he played, he was a global cultural icon, as he was one of the key figures who helped champion and popularize basketball worldwide in the 1980s and 1990s. Was he always the best? Like most basketball players of this age and the last, the dream had been from childhood. When Michael Jordan was only 15 years old, he had the same dreams of becoming the greatest basketball player. But this dream of his was not to see the light of the day at his first tryouts. His goal was dashed when his high school basketball team rejected him simply because he wasn't tall enough. While this could have hurt less, it hurt more because his close friend was. His response was like every other child hurting, thinking his dream had been crushed. He went home, shut the door, and sobbed for hours because he was the choice over him seemed humiliating. Nevertheless, it turned out that Michael Jordan's rejection gave him the will and resolve to excel, and it started his brilliant basketball career. Better put in a famous quote attributed to him, "I can accept failure, everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying." For every other child, the response to this setback would be never to touch a basketball or shoot a shot. This wasn't his way of doing things. When the junior varsity basketball season ended, Jordan desperately wanted to see how the other boys played. He wanted to see how he would need to perform once he met the required height for the team. He met with the coach and tabled an uncommon request to the coach. He asked to watch the boys play on the court he wished he was on. The coach agreed, but with one stipulation, that Jordan would only be allowed into the room if he was ready to carry the players' uniforms. This was his one shot at entering the ring, and he didn't let the chance go. He grew 4 inches the following summer and worked out more than everybody else. When he exercised and felt tired, he wanted to give up. Michael Jordan later recounts that he would close his eyes and see that list in the locker room without his name on it. That got him going again. This was the deciding factor that propelled him. It was at this time that he decided that nothing would stop him and that failure and rejection won't discourage him and won't get in the way of his dream. The limelight. Making the team started his basketball career, and he has been seen authoritatively saying that without his first games as one of the players of the school basketball team, there is a high chance that the name Michael Jordan would not have come closely related to basketball or sports. With the hard work, persistence, and doggedness at the sport he had loved since he was a kid came fame, awards, and titles. Throughout his active career as a professional basketballer, Michael Jordan is said to have won 6 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player, MVP, awards, 10 NBA scoring titles, both all-time records, 5 NBA MVP awards, 10 All-NBA First Team designations, 9 All-Defensive First Team honors, 14 NBA All-Star Game selections, 3 NBA All-Star Game MVP awards, 3 NBA Steals titles, and the 1988 NBA Defensive Player of the Year award. These are a few of Jordan's honors and achievements, and it is to note that far from the hype, he was worth every scream from the crowds when they watched him play the ball. His NBA records for career playoff scoring average and career regular season scoring average total 30.12 points per game and 33.45 points per game, respectively. He was ranked second to Babe Ruth on the Associated Press's list of the greatest athletes of the 20th century and was crowned the greatest North American athlete of the century by ESPN in 1999. The limelight was well-deserved, and he made sure to bask in the euphoria of being one of the best. But even at that, there were times he fell from the high pedestrian he was placed, and being in the light, the mistakes were hard to overlook. Although an accurate amount of shots taken through his career is impossible to calculate, Michael Jordan reports that he has missed over 9,000 shots and lost nearly 300 games. At 26 different times, he was given the lead in making the deciding shot for his team, and he failed to get them a win. He has repeatedly failed in life and throughout his career, and this is what made it imperative that he succeed in the industry. His exit from professional basketball in the NBA. Throughout his 15-year career, Michael Jordan arguably retired one too many times than every normal professional athlete. Michael Jordan retired twice before his third and final retirement, and every time he retired, the world thought that was the end of his NBA career. The first retirement was in 1993, which happened on October 6 of that year, when he had just led his team, the Chicago Bulls, to their third back-to-back championship win. This was what made the news of his retirement sudden, unprecedented, and sad to his fans and lovers of the sport he played. In announcing his retirement, Jordan claimed he had lost interest in playing basketball. Later, he claimed that the murder of his father 3 months prior had influenced his choice. On July 23, 1993, 2 adolescents named Daniel Green and Larry Martin Demery killed James R. Jordan Sr. in a Lumberton, North Carolina, rest area after stealing his Lexus. During his time off during this period, Michael Jordan opted to play minor league baseball for the Chicago White Sox until 1995. Interestingly, this had always been his late father's dream for him, to play as a major league basketball player. Coming back to the NBA in 1995, it is rumored that he decided to quit baseball because he feared he might become a replacement player during the Major League Baseball strike. He announced his comeback on March 18 through a 2-word press release saying, "I'm back." And he commemorated his comeback by taking to the court with the Bulls to face the Indiana Pacers in Indianapolis, scoring 19 points. The second retirement came in January 1999, and people were more certain that a return was impossible, given the situation surrounding his departure from the NBA as a player. Despite having 3 consecutive championships, he stopped being a player once again. His departure resulted from disagreements with Jerry Krause, the team's then general manager. The final retirement. It was obvious to many that the 2002-2003 basketball season would be the last they would see the legend play in, and it was a tussle from teams trying to make sure he retired having played with them. Jordan turned down offers from Tracy McGrady and Allen Iverson to start the 2003 All-Star Game. In the end, he took Vince Carter's slot. On April 16, 2003, Jordan participated in his final NBA contest in Philadelphia, making sure he scored 13 points before proceeding to the bench. He was given a 4-minute standing ovation during his final game at his former home court, the United Center in Chicago. In his retirement, despite Jordan never playing for the Miami Heat, the team retired the number 23 jersey on April 11, 2003. This was the last time the legend graced an audience while playing the sport he made many fall in love with. After the NBA, what next? One thing that trails Michael Jordan's success story is how he has become so accustomed to hard work that even after retirement, he could not stay clear of sports. For starters, he took joy in playing the game of golf. Prior to his retirement, he had constantly been seen sporting with leading golf players like Tiger Woods, Sergio Garcia, Tom Brady, Keegan Bradley, and Luke Donald. He had a golf charity event that ran for 4 days. The event was named the Michael Jordan Celebrity Invitational and was hosted by Michael Jordan himself between 2001 and 2014. Money from this charity event used to go to foundations like Cats Care, the James R. Jordan Foundation, Opportunity Village, Keep Memory Alive, and Make-A-Wish. It was in the early 2000s that Michael Jordan really took investment to heart. This makes his profile read American businessman before a former professional basketball player. Michael Jordan first invested in Charlotte Bobcats Hornets stock in 2006. A few years later, in 2010, he rose to the position of Charlotte Hornets owner after becoming the NBA team's largest shareholder. Before Jordan became the owner, the team was known as the Charlotte Bobcats. However, Charlotte Hornets became the organization's official name in 2014, 4 years after Jordan became the owner. Then there are endorsements and deals. The most noteworthy endorsement Michael Jordan made off and on the court has to be that which he entered with the Nike brand. As of 2020, MJ had a net worth of $2.2 billion. Aside from being one of the very few athletes to have ever been paid over $30 million in 1 year, he retains nothing below $60 million from royalties of this deal. What legacy trails Michael Jordan's basketball career? God disguised as Michael Jordan. These were the exact words of Larry Bird after the 1986 playoffs, having watched the young Jordan seal 63 points for his team during the game. This was just one man's words, yet it was corroborated in the years to come and made evident to those who never believed. Michael Jordan left the NBA as one who had completed his course as a basketball player. It is undisputed that Michael Jordan is the most decorated NBA player of all time. 10 times, Jordan placed among the top 3 in the voting for MVP of the regular season. He was chosen for the NBA 75th anniversary team in 2021 after being voted one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history in 1996. Jordan is one of just 7 athletes in history to have won an NCAA title, an NBA title, and an Olympic gold medal, twice with the American men's basketball teams in 1984 and 1992. As a sportsman and the face behind Nike Air Jordan, Michael Jordan has proven that even when failure rears its head, all it takes to make a name for yourself in this competitive world is to be different. And by being different, it is not to be afraid of failure, to try even when the world beats you down. From a young boy with crushed dreams at 15 and a pocket of wishes to the all-time best basketball player earning $100 million annually from investments and endorsements.